Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tom, I'm an Open University student, and today I'm finally going to talk about TM470. Now, before we get into TM470, I need to let you know about Team C's. If you have been watching lots of YouTube like I have for the past couple of years, chances are you've come across Mr. Beast and Mark Rober, and you may very well know that 2 years ago they teamed up with a charity to create Team Trees. Team Trees was a hugely successful creator-pushed charity fundraiser event, and I think they've raised over $23 million, which is an absolutely fantastic cause. It's a fantastic amount for a brilliant cause. That cause was for every dollar donated, they planted a tree. It's very easy to follow, and like I say, $23 million, 23 million trees. It's huge amounts. Well, now there's Team C's. It's still Mr. Beast and it's Mark Rober. This time they have teamed up with Ocean Conservancy and the Ocean Cleanup charities to help clean up the ocean. And they're doing this by, for every dollar donated, you will get £1 of trash will be removed from the sea. Doing these by various different methods, from as simple as just organising beach cleanups, because obviously any trash that's on the beach has a very high success chance of getting washed out into sea. They are also cleaning up ghost fishing equipment, which is like leftover line and leftover fishing nets in the middle of the sea. And they're also building these huge machines to go at the end of rivers, because 80% of trash that is from rivers into the sea actually only comes from 1% of the world's rivers. So it's quite easy to target just those 1% rivers. Not that it's an easy job, it's not, it's going to take a long time, but it's any money donated will go to help these causes. 100% of your money donated will go split 50-50 between these two charities. So if you're thinking about donating, check the first link in the description. It will be to Team C's. And yes, feel free to donate. I think currently they've actually raised over like $3 million already, and it's been less than a day. I was supposed to get this video up yesterday. I'm recording today on the 30th. I'm hoping I post this on the 30th as well. But yeah, it's only just been live since 9 o'clock UK time on the 29th, and I think currently I'm going to do a live check. teamcs.org, and yes, £3.775 million has been donated. Well, £1 million of rubbish will be extracted from the seas. It's $3.77 million. It's been absolutely fantastic cause. They're actually currently in the lead. I thought it was Alan Walker this morning. I saw on Twitter, which is £111,000 has been extracted from the sea from him. But actually, it's YouTube Originals. YouTube's gone through and actually donated $400,000, which is hugely successful. Anyway, links in the description if you want to check that out. It's a brilliant cause. Please feel free, and I will get straight into TM470. So TM470 is the last module you'll do as a year 3 module, and it's very different to other modules as there's no actual fixed topic as such. It's a project-based module, so therefore the person studying, i.e. me and you guys watching, you can pick near enough whatever project you want. Now this is brilliant, but this makes it hard for me to help say what's going to happen, because what happened for me might not happen for you, because chances of us doing the same sort of project is slim. There are, of course, a lot of similarities that will happen, and I'll go over those. But if this is a slightly shorter video than you were expecting for the big end project video, I'll explain why. So the absolute main learning target as such, the main target of the module is to show you planning a project and executing that project, and then reflecting on how about that went, how the project went about for yourselves. So yeah, it's very difficult to say over video, but I will try my best. Anyway, there's only one start date, at least there was when I subscribed to study the module, and that was February. However, the module does open in October, and it's for a very good cause. It's a very good point. you will actually be technically working as such on it from November. At the beginning of November, I believe it was November the 6th, maybe? November 6th, 10th, something like that. This year, anyway, there is going to be the project preparation forum, and there's going to be quite a lot of pages thrown at you that you can read through and prepare yourself for the February start date. So as you can probably tell from the project preparation forum, it is to help you prepare for your project. What I should have explained earlier is that the project that you choose and that you do must be somewhat based on a level 3 module. Now, and they also, it doesn't have to be, but they advise you to pick a level 3 module you've already studied. Now, this makes it very difficult for people who are trying to study full time. I did a level 3 module last year, but I didn't base my project on that module. I actually did it on a module that I'm doing this year. So it is possible. It's just if you are someone who is doing 3 of the level 3 modules and then doing this, you might struggle a bit. Primarily because when they say, what they say is if you are doing a module, if you're basing this project on a module you're currently studying, you are best off to get ahead as much as possible, because the project, you have to show that you've done work that's based on that project, and you show how you've gone above that module. And so you'll be taking what you've learned from that level 3 module and then building upon it and progressing in that skill department. So that's why they advise you to pick a level 3 module you've already done. However, you don't have to. It's just there more as a warning, I suppose. Again, if you do base it on a level 3 module that you're doing this year as well, just try your best to get ahead as much as possible. So, back to the project preparation forum. When you start this, you will put up a post just for you. You will have your name in it, obviously, and you will also put your level 3 modules, and it will be helpful if they put which modules you've already completed and which modules you're currently studying, if any. You put your level 3 modules up, and then you just start spitballing ideas into this forum post that's just for you. It doesn't have to be anything concrete, just what's on top of your mind. It could be something personal, it could be something from work, it could be just something you've always wanted to do. It just has to be just spitball the ideas out. And then for us, there was 2 forum moderators. I presume it'll be the same people next year. I don't know. And one of them will comment on your forum post and maybe try and help you skew that idea to a more of a suitable project. After you've gone back and forth with the forum moderator, they will probably want you, before the Christmas break, to submit what your project is. It's kind of like an application form. You're not actually applying for anything. It's to do with tutor allocation. So you will put in this form, I think you put what level 3 module you're basing off of, and then a very rough idea of what your project is. It doesn't have to be absolutely set in stone what your project is at this point, but like the level 3 module you're basing it off of, that kind of needs to be set in stone, and you need to have a rough idea what it's going to be. This is so they can allocate you the most suitable tutor. I presume there's lots of different tutors that will tutor TM470, but because there's a wide range of modules to choose from and a wider range of projects that you could possibly do, they do need to allocate you to the most appropriate tutor possible. So you do that, I think, before Christmas break. I'm pretty sure it was. And then during January, they'll probably the back end of January, they'll say you'll get an email about who your tutor is. And then before the actual opening date, that tutor probably will email you. At least that's what my tutor did for me anyway. And that tutor will probably ask you again what your project's about. They'll probably ask you for the link to the forum post, just so they can read through the conversation between you and the forum moderators. And they will then, if it needs tweaking slightly, because obviously the forum moderators, again, they might not necessarily be an expert in the region that you're wanting that project to be in. So if it needs tweaking ever so slightly, they'll probably just advise you right before you begin. And then it all kicks off in February. This is when it gets a little bit different. You start in February and you end in September. You have 3 TMAs and an EMA. To give you a rough idea of what the more important dates are for this module, at least were for me, my start date or the open date was the 6th of February. TMA1 was due on the 9th of March, and it was worth 5%. TMA2 was due on the 20th of April, it was worth 10%. TMA3 was the 13th of July, and that was 10% as well. And then the EMA was due on the 20th of September, and that was 75%. So the EMA is huge. Typically, if you're someone who's watching this video randomly, typically your EMA is usually worth about 50% of the overall mark. At least it has been for the modules that I've studied. So for the EMA to be worth 75% is not alarming, but it can add just that extra level of stress when you submit your EMA. So yeah, it's nice. The main assessment for this entire module is basically a report. Throughout the entire time, you'll be building this report of how you are planning it and how you've gone about executing the project and reflecting on it. It will probably be the same Word document you will keep working on, submitting and changing as time goes on. So it's very different because it's not, like I said, there's no set piece to it. But I will try and help in the better way I can. There are 11 learning outcomes. That's what the tutors will be looking for in your report. There's 11 learning outcomes. I'm not going to go through every learning outcome because it will be quite wordy and it will be me repeating what is on the website, and it's something that is accessible to you as soon as the forum is open anyway. But not all assessments will be marked against these learning outcomes. For example, TMA1 has 6 learning outcomes. TMA2 actually has 10 learning outcomes. TMA3 had 8 learning outcomes, and then EMA is marked against all 11 learning outcomes. So yeah, that's a bit different. So for me, the report is split into 3 sections. There's preparation and planning, there's project work completed, and there's review and reflection. I'll very quickly go over what some of the subheadings will be. So in preparation and planning, there's description of the problem. It's basically what your project will be about. The project scope, major task and subtask, life cycle model, the schedule, the methods you will use, resources needed, skills needed, risks and mitigations. They're all pretty much self-explanatory. It is, again, you're supposed to take the skills you've learned whilst at uni and then build upon them. So they are expecting you to go into this needing to learn something. If you need to learn absolutely everything, that's when you might get in a bit of an issue. But if you already know everything, they probably might ask you just to change the project a bit to include something that requires you to learn something. So project work completed, you will include sources of information in there, which could just be books. And then the actual project work, you will describe what you've done, how you went about it, any issues, anything like that. And then the review and reflection, you will review your progress so far. Are you on track, etc. You will review your project management. Did you write a proper schedule? Did you stick to that schedule? Did you have too much work to do one week because you scheduled that without realizing? You will talk about your problems you've encountered and your solutions. And then you'll talk about skills development. Again, have you learned that skill in time? Was it easy enough? Was it hard? Was it difficult? Whatever. And then you will also have a couple of sections for references and the appendices or appendix, which will be an important part. Appendix tends to be like screenshots of maybe like code or your project work outcome, stuff like that. Also, during the report, you will need to talk about the legal, social, ethical, and professional issues. These might be directly affected by the project you're working on now, or you can imply what issues there will be if your project was to be publicly available. So if you're going to make an app, for example, if it was an app that was just going to be on your phone, might not be that many issues. But if it was an app that you're going to make available for free on the App Store for millions of iPhone users around the world to download, chances are there will be lots of legal, ethical issues, etc., that will come about that. So although those issues aren't directly affected by your project now, you can talk about if you were to have that sort of project that's available on the App Store. Tutorials was a weird one. There is supposed to be a tutorial for every TMA. I believe I had a tutorial for a welcome tutorial, like introduction to the module tutorial. And then I think I had a tutorial for the first TMA. And then I'm pretty sure the second, third, and EMA tutorial were all replaced by tutorial slides. My tutor explained that it was because from the past experiences, that is the last few years that he's been working on this module, the numbers, as you may have noticed from studying, the numbers tend to go down more you get into the module anyway. 100% check out that introduction to the module, because I was lost when I first started doing this module. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So 100% check that introduction to the module. It might just put everything at ease to you, or it might just push you in the right direction. You will be encouraged to keep in regular contact with your tutor. At the beginning, the TMAs come quite quick together. Like I said, beginning of March and beginning of April for 2 TMAs, that is very close together. But then you have a big gap to July, and then there's another big gap to September. So you are encouraged to keep in regular contact with your tutor. It's up to you how much contact that is. Your tutor won't be chasing you up. That's not their job. But if you send weekly emails, might not say even reply to you, but it can keep them on track. And then if you're saying you're struggling with something, or you're saying you can do something, and the tutor's like, shouldn't really be doing that, or you don't need to do that, then they might just edge you in a different direction. So when you submit your assessments for TMA, like TMA 1, everything, you'll just submit what you've done now and what you've planned, etc. Your tutor will mark it, and they'll send that document back, and chances are in separate coloured font, ink. I wrote in black and my tutor commented in red typography. They just wrote the comment section, they wrote comments all the way throughout. And then for the next TMA 2, I had to, any text that wasn't changed on my behalf, I left in black. Any text that was slightly changed but not new, maybe just need to change a couple of words, I'd have put in one colour, and then brand new text that wasn't there before, I put in another colour. And then you'll be asked to put a key to say which one's which. You can pick any colours you want. The tutor said just don't pick red because that's my colour as such, but obviously your tutor might be different. But yeah, that was also different about this module. The forums are pretty good, but again, everyone's doing different projects, so it's difficult to get direct answers to your issues. But that doesn't mean that the forums will be unnecessary for you. I still recommend checking them out, even if it's just, I saw a lot of forum posts of people just been like middle of June, about, hey everyone, how's everyone doing? And then people just have a nice conversation about, it's been stressful, or I was really stressed out, but it clicked 2 weeks ago, and now I'm on the roll again. And it's just nice to have that conversation, because Open University can feel quite lonely at times, especially if it's such a isolated individual project like this. It can be quite difficult. Some sort of tips, I guess. You'll be expected to do research at the beginning. This might involve interviewing people or asking people questions. I've studied this during COVID times, so they were very strict that absolutely no one-to-one meetings with anyone. They were not allowed. You could talk to people obviously in your house if that's suitable, but no one-to-one conversations. So that to me implies that in the past few years they've advised people to do one-to-one conversations with people to see what your project will need to meet their needs. It all depends on what your project is. I feel like I've rambled a lot in this video. Like I say, it's very difficult to write all the information down for this module because everyone's different. Like I say, my project, chances are it will be nothing like the project of the person watching this, so it's very difficult for me to explain. However, I will keep an eye on the comment section for this video, and I will keep an eye out for Instagram DMs. Anyone can DM me, you don't have to follow me, but you can DM me and I will get back to you at some point. I am terrible at replying to people, but I'm working on it and I will reply to you eventually, I promise. Or you can do Twitter DMs if you prefer Twitter over Instagram for whatever reason. Or like I say, feel free to put a comment section in this video. Even if I don't reply, there might be someone else that will reply and might help you. So yeah, it's difficult, but I think that's honestly, I think that's the most I can say. I feel terrible because I feel like I've rambled so much. If you do have absolutely no idea what project you want to do, there are project ideas, and it'll go through each level 3 module and give you some rough ideas of what projects you could do. I wouldn't pick one of those directly, just because they're probably, if anything, they've probably been overdone, and your tutor will probably be like, no, that's on the project ideas page, get something a bit more original. So yeah, I wouldn't pick one of those, but reading them might just get the cogs going and make you think of something. Like I said, I saw a lot of people make one about making apps, which is interesting. It's not something you really do that much in OU. And yeah, I saw a couple of people talking about what they were doing. Some people are quite secretive about what they're doing, which is absolutely fair enough. I wasn't on the forums talking about what I was doing either. So yeah, I think that's about everything. Again, sorry to run it home, but check out Team C's. First link in the description. Please donate to it. It's a fantastic cause. And yes, feel free to comment me, and I will reply, asking any questions. Like I say, I think we'll ramble too much. So yes, enjoy. And I will see you in the next video. I will hopefully not be too long before the next video. I've got an idea what it's going to be, so shouldn't be too much further. If there's any other video ideas you guys do want me to do, then feel free to comment or DM me on Instagram, and I'll try and do videos on them if possible. If not, I will see you when I see you in a bit.